Welcome to Reality is Undefeated. I'm Ant Gatewood. Thank you for tuning in. I want to touch on an issue today that I've been wanting to touch on for a minute, and it is black women and their protection or lack thereof. All right. A lot of black women feel like they're not being protected. They point to these incidents that happen, throughout time and current events and so on and so forth. And they put them in a highlight as this is an example of how we are not being protected as black women. And I'm here to call bullshit on that, okay? It's my position that black women aren't being protected due to a lack of protectors, but more so their protectors' lack of desire to protect them. Their protection accounts are empty. In many cases, they're overdrawn, meaning that you have run out of favors. See, when we were younger and we were messing with the little girls on the playground, they say, oh, I'll get my brother, my cousin, my daddy, my uncle, whatever. Where those men gone? What, they up and vanished? No, they still around. You just can't call them anymore. And you know you can't call them because they've been dealing with your shit for a long time. And they tired of it. Question for the men. How many times have you fought your sister or cousin's boyfriend over something that was told to them or done to them, only for your sister or cousin to go back to that man a week later like nothing happened? Think about how many men right now are sitting in prison or are 6 feet in a box because of something that had to do with a woman in their lives. Them responding to a domestic violence. Them going to beat up this person or showing up to do this to this person only for them to get the bad end of the stick. Because there really ain't no winners in certain situations. See, we know this is the case. So when you call a person over and over, oh, he hit me. Oh, he threatened me this way. Oh, he said something about my mama or whatever the fuck the case. And you constantly going and showing up and threatening and showing up and fighting. And she constantly going back to this person. What you think gonna happen the next time you pick up the phone to call him? This man done whooped your ass. Yeah, hello? Yeah, he done whooped my ass. Oh yeah, call the police. I'm not showing up no more. The fuck I'm gonna sit up here and stop what I'm doing. Stop the time I'm spending with my family, being at the park with my kids, being on a date with my wife. Stop what I'm doing to drive clearly across town, around the corner, or any fucking where. Just my motherfucking time to go deal with a situation that you done got into with this man, only for you to go back to him a week later. See, I like how we grab these cases. Oh, black man, or white man, attacks young black lady in a fast food restaurant, or white man whoops black woman ass, over a parking spot. We grab these cases and say, this is the example. When 90% of you are needing protection from the man you chose to put in your life. Chose out of many men. Didn't choose him for anything proper. You chose him for some ancillary reason. It wasn't his character. It was the fact that he was 6 feet tall. You liked his waves. Like stupid shit. Ancillary shit. This is the man you need protection from. When you should be choosing men that can protect you from the rest of the world. You need protection from the man that's supposed to protect you. Your account is empty. We all got people that got hella drama in their lives that we hate to associate ourselves with. Because we don't have drama in our lives. If it not for them, we would never have drama in our lives. Why am I going to allow you to pull me into your situation when my world is peaceful? Why would I do that? When you're constantly being pulled into drama that has nothing to do with you, it makes you start looking at the common denominator in the equation. It makes you look at them and say, no, you on your own this time. If you're a black woman and you feel like you are not protected, you need to start asking yourself, why are my protectors not showing up anymore? You got to ask yourself that question and be real about it. And you know what the saddest thing about black women who do have protection? the more protection that she perceives she has, the more reckless she is with her mouth, the more reckless she is with her actions. A lot of women talk to men in ways that men would never talk to men. We know that once we bring our tone up to a certain level, it gotta go there. It's just that. It has to go there. Black women need to put forth a good effort to rebuild and maintain in good faith the relationships they have with the men in their lives in order to restore the level of protection they desire. You cannot and should not expect complete strangers to stand up and risk their lives, risk their safety for your protection in situations that you put yourself in. You cannot expect that. And let's just be honest, as black men and women, we don't really have great relationships as it pertains to us being strangers. It's many cases where we walk on a sidewalk right past each other and not say anything. In fact, I remember a time when me and my boy Dubs was downtown in LA, out there for this team backpack event years ago. And we out across the street from the Staples Center getting some B-roll and, just doing a whole lot of filming and all of that. And we're on the sidewalk across the street from the Staples, and it's a train station right there, right? This is like, I want to say like 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a Sunday, all right? The train stops. A black woman gets off the train. She's walking our way on the sidewalk. We're on the sidewalk going over a plan on what we about to film, what we going to do, so on and so forth. As she walks by, I do what the natural thing to do is, and I say good morning, just an acknowledgement, a simple greeting, right? She doesn't say anything back, just keeps walking, doesn't acknowledge it at all, not even an eye roll, just don't say shit to me, tunnel vision, whatever the fuck. So let's just say in 50 feet or so, 100 feet, a light pole away, some homeless man jumps out and begins to harass her. Or somebody pulls up and grabs her purse. We're the closest ones to her. Would you want to protect her? Would you want to jump in action for her? Not asking would you. I feel like there's a level of humanity in everyone to where they do something, right? I'm asking, would you want to? Completely different question. Why would you want to protect someone who wouldn't even acknowledge you with a simple greeting? A simple good morning. And that brings me back to the fast food incident. Because I remember when this happened a few years ago, it was a lot of talk about the black man that just stood idle while this young black woman and this white man were fighting. And all of the talk, including my own answer, as I was on a podcast at the time, all of the talk defending the black man was around financial ramifications. Maybe he just started working there. He ain't want to lose his job. Maybe he got kids at home to where he can't put himself in this situation. Maybe this, maybe that. No one ever considered that maybe he just ain't like her. Maybe they had words. Maybe they get into it. Maybe she had an attitude towards him, was mean towards him, was dismissive towards him. Not saying that this was the case. I'm just saying that it wasn't even considered. But maybe that was the reason why. We can't expect complete strangers to step in for us, especially when we're not treating complete strangers in a polite manner. We're not being friendly. We're not greeting. We're not smiling. And that's where we at. Just be honest. That's where we are. I read a story a few months back, and I believe the headline was like gunfire erupts in a quiet neighborhood or something like that, over a domestic dispute or something like that, right? In fact, you know what? Let me find the story and read the story. 8 News Now. Here we go. Dispute between two families erupts into neighborhood gunfight. A husband and wife are facing charges after gunfire erupted in a South Las Vegas neighborhood, leaving the husband and 3 women injured following a fight between 2 families. Police were dispatched to a home on Snowbank Lane near St. Rose Parkway and Las Vegas Boulevard around 2:19 a.m. on Saturday, May 28th. As officers arrived in the neighborhood, they said they witnessed several vehicles fleeing the scene. I'm not going to say the person's name. We're just going to identify him as the husband. Okay? The husband is facing 2 counts of attempted murder with the use of a deadly weapon, and his wife is facing 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon. According to the arrest report, the incident started when the wife's daughter and her boyfriend, who lives on an adjacent street, got into a fight the previous evening, and the young woman told her mother that her boyfriend had struck her. The wife told the police this was not the first time, and she called the boyfriend's mother and said the two settled their differences. The boyfriend's mother told police she received a phone call later from a young man who claimed to be the young woman's brother and threatened to send a homie over to fight with her son. The report said a man did show up at the house and did fight her son. Some of the family members who watched the fight had guns. The mother said that the wife pointed a gun at her and threatened her, and then the husband grabbed the gun and began shooting. According to the report, he shot the mother as she ran away. She suffered 8 gunshot wounds to her chest, back, buttocks, and legs. He also shot a family friend 11 times, hitting her in both her legs, her pelvis, lower abdomen, and chest. Both women required emergency life-saving procedures and surgery to keep them alive. A friend who was visiting the wife was also shot in her leg when she approached the scene, and the husband suffered a gunshot wound to his left leg. During an interview with the husband, he told police when the shooting started, he ran away and was shot in the leg. But when he was confronted with video surveillance, he made no attempts to deny the shooting. He began crying, and he said he is going to prison, the report said. That's where the story ended. All of this started over a woman needing protection from a man she chose. And like I said, the more protection she perceives she has, the more reckless she will be. Now, I don't know this situation, so I don't want to put this on the young woman, but she clearly had protection and clearly knew she had protection. The brother sent a homie to fight. The husband of her mother showed up and began shooting. If that ain't protection, I don't know what protection is. But this started over a young man that she chose. Adrian Payne, a black man, lost his life in an effort to protect a black woman from a man that she chose. And this incident that I just seen last night on World Star, are these two brothers being shot, one of them being killed, going to protect their sister in a domestic dispute over a man she chose. Now, I'm not dismissing these young men in the situations. They need to keep their hands off these women. And a lot of these young men in these situations where they, are hitting these women, a lot of these young men were raised by single mothers. They act off emotion just like women do. They can't take what a woman said to them or nothing like that, and they just go right to some violent shit because at least they know that they're physically dominant over her. But that's a young man who was not raised by a man. If black women want to be protected, black women need to start choosing men that they do not need protection from. Rebuild those accounts. Because right now, your account is empty. So how do you rebuild a protection account? For one, you pick up the phone and you apologize to the men that you've put in certain situations in your life. You tell them thank you for showing up when you needed them. and that you apologize for putting them in that situation, and that you've learned from that situation, and that you're not going to deal with a person like him anymore. Then you prove that to them by going to pick someone off of something like character that says you're not going to need protection from him. Hell, you can add on a step by choosing someone that can actually protect you. You're adding to the front line. That's a 2-for-1. You show your brothers, cousins, uncles, daddies, whatever, that they don't need to protect you from him, and you add a frontline layer of protection in him. Black women need to start rebuilding their relationship with the men who were in their lives protecting them at one point. You have to rebuild that relationship. You have to make deposits to that protection account.